Hello, and welcome to this final year of the Thelma Battle Williamson County Library African American exhibit. This year's Thelma Battle exhibit is entitled Home, Williamson County, Tennessee, Where the Heart Is. It recognizes the many African American individuals and families who carried Williamson County, their home, within their hearts wherever they ventured. You, the viewer, will see among the sometimes old, faded, and cracked photographs local babies and small children with smiles of delight, pleased with the joy of home and loved ones. Teenagers enjoying life and the everyday grind of school, yet looking forward to going home. Soldiers whom have left their homes for faraway lands, embraced by the memories of home. Individuals and families whom once called Williamson County home, but have migrated to other cities and states. Places once significant to local African American heritage within this home county, though no longer in existence, are recognized within this photograph exhibit. These heartfelt collected photographs are directed as windows to Home, Williamson County, Tennessee, Where the Heart Is. The leading photograph, which is pictured on the tripod downstairs, is of William Clarence Thompson, born 1887, died 1954, and his wife, O.V. Wilson Thompson, born 1887, died 1954, and their two sons, left to right, Oscar Lee Thompson, born 1910, died 1954, and Wilson Thompson, born 1908, died 1994. William Clarence Thompson was the son of Bill Ferguson and Lizzie Thompson. Picture number 2, Walter Ewan, born 1860, and wife Clora Perkins Ewan, born 1862, died 1935. This couple was formerly of Tri-Ewan, Tennessee. They were married in Williamson County on October 18, 1876. They were the grandparents of Louise Bill Patton, a former Williamson County school teacher and elected board member of the Franklin Special School Board. As you all may remember that Miss Louise lived to be 100 years old. Picture number 3, 2 former Nolensville residents, left to right, Robert Stewart and Henry House. Number 4, Doug McEwen, an unknown female, and Doug McEwen was an uncle of Dan Carruthers Sr. Picture number 5 is 2 sisters formerly of Nolensville, Tennessee. Left to right, Maggie Pearl Copeland and Willa Copeland. They were the daughters of John and Laura Brown Copeland. The family migrated to Chicago, Illinois, and this picture was taken in 1923. Picture number 6, an unknown male friend of Martha Woolridge. Martha was born in 1888 and died in 1975, and this picture was taken in 1923. Picture number 7, Mrs. McDillon. Next is Martha Woolridge, born 1888, died 1975, and Rebecca. Picture number 8, 2 brothers changing a flat tire, Alfred Dobbins and Dave Dobbins. Number 9, Catherine Annie Lois Petway Scruggs, born 1938, died 1998, and husband Lucius Scruggs, whose nickname was Luke, and he was born in 1922 and died in 1985. Catherine was the daughter of Tony Petway, born 1888, died 1968, of the Fairground community of Franklin. Picture number 10 is Susie Pinkston, and she was a former Williamson County, Tennessee resident. Number 11 is Carrie Mae Williams, 1917 to 1939. She was born in Nolensville, Tennessee. She was the daughter of Margaret Ann Bolijack Williams and granddaughter of Arch Bolijack, born in 1840 and died in 1908, and Sally Owen Bolijack. Carrie Mae was the sister of George Scooney Bolijack. Her grandfather, Arch Bolijack, owned property on Sanford Road. Number 12 is Pauline Stewart Brown, born in 1905, died 1986, and Addie Guthrie, were both former Nolensville, Tennessee residents. They posed in this 1950s photograph near Ebenezer Methodist Church. Pauline was the wife of Robert Brown Sr., born 1904 and died in 1989. Number 13 is Calvin Brown, a former resident of Nolensville, and he's pictured with his wife Kimmy of Japan. They are pictured during their 1950s Japanese wedding ceremony. Number 14 is a former Nolensville resident, Thomas Brown, born in 1926 and died 2009. He's pictured center with his two sons left to right, Ben Brown and Calvin Brown. Number 15, Jim Robinson, born in 1902 and died in 1970. He's pictured with his daughters. Standing left to right is Jimmy Mae Robinson Jones, Jim Robinson himself, and then Annie Louise Robinson Hickerson. Kneeling left to right is Geraldine Robinson Dobbins and Sarah Robbins Matthews. The Robinson family lived as sharecroppers in the Forest Home community on the Callicott farm. Number 16, the Robinson sisters, daughters of Jim Robinson and Annabelle Kennard Robinson. Left to right, Sarah Robinson Matthews, Geraldine Robinson Dobbins, Annie Louise Robinson Hickerson, and Jenny Mae Robinson Jones. Number 17, husband and wife, George Bolijack Sr., nicknamed Scooney, born 1908, died 2006, and his wife, Annie Lizzie Thompson Bolijack, born 1911, died 1987, and they are pictured in this 1950s photograph. The family once owned property in Cottage Grove and Triune. Number 18, sisters and brothers, left to right, Linda, Joe, Thomas, and John Bolijack. They are the children of George Bolijack, Scooney Bolijack, and Annie Lizzie Thompson Bolijack. Number 19, 3 small children and unknown female are shown in this photograph. Left to right, James Arthur Carruthers and brother Noble Carruthers. The woman holding the unidentified baby is believed to be Ida B. Dobbins Waddy, born 1922, died 2010. She was the aunt of the Carruthers children. The brothers are the offspring of Dan Carruthers Sr. and Mary Ella Dobbins Carruthers. Number 20, 2 brothers, left to right, John Carruthers, whose nickname was Billy, and James Arthur Carruthers. They are the children of Dan Carruthers and Mary Ella Dobbins Carruthers. Number 22 is Beaumont Gentry Sr., born 1915. He is pictured with his sister Lucille Gentry Davis. She was born in 1911 and died in 1997. Now, the Gentry siblings were the children of Leslie Gentry, who was also known as Esley Gentry, and his wife Betty Adams Gentry. They were formerly of Marshall County, Tennessee, but the Gentry family migrated to Chicago, Illinois by 1920, where they lived with his wife Betty's parents, Alec Adams and Amanda Baker Adams. Then the family relocated to Tennessee by 1930 and was living in the 9th District of Williamson County, Tennessee, where Leslie Gentry was a section hand worker with the railroad. Their son Ernest would later become manager of Boma Gentry's restaurant on Natchez Street. Now, Boma Gentry's restaurant was the same location that was once Patton's restaurant, and Boma was the nickname of Ernest Gentry Sr. Number 23 is Nelson Luster of College Grove community, and he's pictured with an unknown baby. Number 24, mother and daughters, is Maddie Sally Dotson Fitzgerald, and she's pictured with her children left to right, Willie Louise Fitzgerald, whose nickname was Pig, and Willie was born in 1939 and died in 2001. Also in this photograph is Gertrude Fitzgerald Leach and Mary Ann Fitzgerald Scruggs. Number 25 is John Wesley Corky Hickerson, born 1929, died 1999. He is pictured first right with two unidentified friends. Number 26 is Three Generations. Juanita Brown is pictured with her daughter Regina Brown Davis, born 1955, died 2006, and Juanita's granddaughter Monica Lynn Straughter. Number 27 is Will Ridley, nicknamed Babe, and niece Martha Ridley Anderson, widow of Powell Anderson Sr. Number 28 is Reverend Frank Ogilvy Sr., born 1947, died 2013, is pictured with his wife, Marie Ridley Ogilvy. The couple lived in the Triune community. 29 is Marie Ridley Ogilvy and granddaughter Kennedy Renee Ogilvy. The two celebrate the day of Kennedy's baptism. Kennedy is the daughter of Frank Ogilvy Jr. and wife Sarah. Number 30 is the Glenn family of Nolensville, Tennessee. The mother is Willie Beatrice Ewan Glenn, born 1932, died 2004. She is seated, and left to right are her daughters Catherine Glenn, Linda Glenn Rose, and Gladys Glenn Mason. Number 31 is Reverend and Mrs. Richard Lloyd of Nashville. He is the pastor of the Green Grove Baptist Church in Triune, Tennessee. Number 32, Elijah Tawny Branch and Father Ed Branch. Number 33, Elijah Tawny Branch is pictured with his brother Cecil Pappy Branch, born 1945, died 2002. The brothers are the sons of Ed and Effie Branch, and Effie was born in 1912 and died in 1978. Number 34 is Lawrence Davis, born 1927, died 1997, and he is pictured with his son Carl Davis. Number 35, left to right, Walter Selma Anderson, born 1945, died 1973. Lawrence Rusty Sawyers Allen, born 1943 and died 1965, and Curtis Sneaky Pete Allen. Curtis is the father of Marcia Allen, once a Franklin City alderwoman. And these youngsters once lived in the Beasleytown community of Franklin. Number 36A is a group of 1950s neighborhood children from the Lewisburg Pike across the track community. Left to right is Carolyn Blackett Walls, Judy Davis, Carl Davis, Bonnie Crite, and Betty Jean Coffey. Number 36B is Mary Ann Scales Pointer, Dosha Isella Leach, Lula Pointer Dansby, Jewel Hughes Bingham, and Alonzo Allen Hughes, born 1945 and died 2014. Now, Mary Ann Scales Pointer and Lula Pointer Dansby on this photograph are sisters, and Jewel Hughes Bingham and Alonzo Allen Hughes are brother and sister, and they were with their playmate, Dosha Isella Leach, who now lives in California. Number 37 is Three Friends from Franklin, and left to right is Roberta Allen Pointer, born 1924, died 1999. These other two people are unknown, and I'd like to address you, the viewers, if you recognize these two people with Roberta Allen Pointer, to come out and let us know at the library. Number 38, Four Friends at the Macombo Restaurant, once located on 9th Avenue South in Franklin, Tennessee. This photograph was taken in 1958. Left to right, Barbara Lane Derricks, William Henry Peoples, born 1942, died 1992. Joe Willie McKissick, born 1942, died 1967. And Robert Blanche, born 1942 and died 2004. Number 39 is Allen Neblett, a former Franklin resident, and he was the grandson of Mary Mallory, a former Hard Bargain community resident, and Allen Neblett was also the brother of Robert Head Sr. Number 40 is Sylvester Williams. He was born in 1930 and died 1999. Sylvester was a former school teacher, a former Franklin car salesman who later became employed at the Williamson County Bank as a loan officer. He and his wife, Lucille Gentry Williams, were once owners of the Williams Snack Bar on Straw Street. And some of you may remember that this snack bar was famous for selling chitlins and ice cream cones and snow cones. In the summertime, you'd see people lined up waiting to get this, but sadly, this establishment did not get grandfathered in, and because of the rezoning, was not able to keep up the business. Number 41 is Wilma Scruggs Drake, daughter of Reverend William F. Scruggs, born 1919, died 2010, and Jesse Patton Scruggs, born 1922 and died 2015. Wilma is the granddaughter of Eugene Scruggs and Eloise Ball Scruggs Winstead. Number 42, we have Carlisle W. Douglas, former owner of C&C Barbershop that was called Clayton and Carl Barbershop, but it was shortened to C&C Barbershop. The shop was once located on 9th Avenue South. This site is presently owned by the Franklin City Police Department. He is the son of Mary Dahl Owens, born 1924 and died 2006. And Dahl Owens was a former Franklin beautician and owner of beauty shops and a barbershop. And he was the son of Thomas Maxwell Douglas, that was known by many as Cat Douglas. And Cat was born in 1921 and died in 1978. Carl is the stepson of John Clayton Owens, born 1924 and died 2006. Carl Douglas migrated to Indianapolis, Indiana at a young age. He is also the grandson of Henry Douglas and Hattie Douglas, who owned a cab service in Franklin, Tennessee for a number of years, originally on 4th Avenue South and later on 9th Avenue South. They had Henry Douglas had the cab stand, and a barber shop. Number 43, friends enjoy a day at the Rucker Park in Franklin in the 1970s. Top row left to right, Robert Jake Lane, Thomas Edward Head, and Clint Thompson. Bottom row left to right, Henry L. Hardison and Memphis Slim Herbert. Number 44, Tony Petway, born 1888, died 1968. He was a former resident and property owner in the Fairground Street community. He was the husband of Minnie Buford Petway. Number 45 is Lily Pointer Dixon, former resident of Franklin, Tennessee. She was the daughter of Adam Chafee Pointer, born 1897, died 1968, and Louise Brown Pointer. Lily is the granddaughter of Jerry Brown, born 1856, died 1914, and Betty Beach Halfacre Brown. Lily was the second wife of Robert Booster Dixon Sr. Number 46, Pauline Pointer Hughes, Franklin resident, was the daughter of Adam Chafee Pointer and Louise Brown Pointer. Pauline was the granddaughter of Jerry Brown and Betty Beach Halfacre Brown. She was the wife of John Allen Hughes and grandmother of Dr. Reginald Mason, assistant principal at Ravenwood School. Pauline's husband, John Allen Hughes, was the daughter of Henrietta Odie, a pioneer family from Williamson County. Number 47 is Willis Odie and wife Melissa Carruthers Odie. Melissa was the sister of Dan Carruthers. Melissa was the daughter of Noble C. and Rebecca McEwen Carruthers. Number 48, Minnie Chrisman and Cora Jobe, former Nolensville, Tennessee residents. These half-sisters are shown in this 1960 photograph. Cora was the wife of Wiley Jobe, and Wiley was born in 1891 and died in 1975. Number 49, Juanita Brown is pictured with unidentified pool players at Battle's Restaurant in Nolensville, Tennessee. Juanita Brown was a waitress at the establishment in this 1950s photograph. The restaurant was owned by William Gentry Battle. He was the son of Berta Hubbard Battle, the second wife of Ben Chrisman, who was the owner of the Sunset Park in Nolensville. Sunset Park was located on Sunset Road. They now have a subdivision on Sunset Road named Sunset Park, but originally there was a Sunset Park for African Americans the years before integration, and many baseball games and picnics were held at Sunset Park thanks to Ben Chrisman for a number of years. Number 50 is left to right, Timothy Leach, Deborah Fluffy Leach Lee, and Michael Leach. Number 51 is Robert Brown Jr., born 1924, died 1979. He's a former resident of Nolensville and was the son of Robert Brown Sr. and Pauline Stewart Brown. Number 52, Jim Robertson, born 1902, died 1970, lived in the Forest Home community. He was the husband of Anna Mel Kennard Robertson, who was born 1906 and died 1980. Number 53 is Dan Carruthers Sr., born 1918, died 2004. He once resided on the Warren Road in the Arno community, and he was employed at the factory for a number of years. He was the son of Kirk Carruthers and Rebecca McEwen Carruthers. And pictured here are his family, and he had 4 sons who served in the war during the Vietnam era, and one, Richard, who was a year ahead of me in school, was actually killed in Vietnam. The Carruthers brothers on number 55 is Marine Sergeant James A. Carruthers and Daniel Carruthers. Both of them were sergeants, and this faded newspaper article reads, "One Carruthers sergeant is moved to Memphis and the other home." And shown above center is Marine Sergeant James A. Carruthers, hospitalized after being wounded in combat in Vietnam. He is now being transferred to a naval hospital in Memphis for further treatment. At right is his brother, Sergeant Daniel Carruthers, Jr., stationed with the Marine Corps in Japan. Both Marines are brothers of Private Richard L. Carruthers, killed in action in Vietnam, December the 17th. Sergeant Daniel Carruthers is now at home to attend the funeral for his brother, to be held Friday. The patient in the photograph, number 55, is unidentified. Number 56, PFC Richard Lee Carruthers. This is a 1966 newspaper article announcing the following: right set for soldier killed in Vietnam, Private Richard L. Carruthers, 21, son of Mr. and Mrs. Dan Carruthers of Warren Road near Millview, has been killed in Vietnam. Number 58 is the Carruthers parents of the 4 soldiers, Daniel Carruthers Sr. and wife Sue Ella Dobbins Carruthers. They received the Bronze Star Medal and Purple Heart as awards to their son, Private First Class Richard L. Carruthers. The medal was given for action in Vietnam, December the 17th, 1966. Young Carruthers was mortally wounded in action. Number 64, Sunset Park, original concession stand and barbershop in Nolensville, Tennessee. Park was once owned by Ben Chrisman, born 1878, died 1963. The property was later owned by the Thomas Brown family. The farm is presently home of Jessie Boyd Brown, widow of Thomas Brown. Number 65 is Thelma Battle Chrisman, born 1884, died 1964. She was a former resident of Nolensville, but died in Ohio at the home of her daughter, Mildred Battle Rucker. Bertie was raised by her grandmother, Harriet Edmondson, in Nashville, Tennessee. She was the daughter of William and Sarah Hubbard of Nashville, Davidson County. Bertie was the second wife of Sunset Park owner Ben Chrisman. Number 66 is a scene from Sunset Park. Left to right, we have Tommy Davis, Mary Evelyn Hyde, and Calvin Brown. Davis is the son of Bud and Annie Davis. He once lived on Sunset Road, but moved to Chicago, Illinois last year. Number 67 and 68 are the Williams sisters. They were formerly of Nolensville, Tennessee. They were the daughters of Woodrow Wilson Williams and Katie Lee Jordan Williams. Woodrow was born in 1917 and he died in 1990. His wife, Katie Lee, was born in 1914, died in 2001. The sister's father was a star baseball player at Sunset Park. He later played as a professional in the Old Negro League. Number 71 is the former home of Alec Carruthers and Catherine Kit Monier Carruthers, and the home was located on 9th Avenue North in the Hard Bargain community near the corner of Mount Hope Street. The home was situated next to what was once known as Pete Scruggs' grocery store. Now this home has since been demolished. It was owned by Alec Carruthers' son, John Henry Carruthers, who passed it down to his son, Ezel Carruthers, and it eventually went into the hands of Ezel's two children, John Ed Carruthers and Ruby Jean Carruthers Kennard. And a widely known family who once rented this home was much-loved matriarch Willie McCullough, born 1912, died 1999, and her family. Number 72 is the new home built on the site of the original Alec Carruthers home. And this home is on 9th Avenue North in Hard Bargain. Picture number 73 is Edward Austin Bradley Sr., whose nickname was Joe. And Joe was born in 1923 and died in 1992, and he is pictured with his daughter, Deborah Bradley Waters. Deborah is the daughter of Amanda Amos Bradley, born 1923, died 2002, and Deborah is also the wife of Orlando Waters Sr. Number 74 is Charles Buford, a native of the Duplex community of Williamson County, Tennessee. Buford attended the Williamson County schools. He is the son of Ananias Buford Sr., born 1913, died 1994, and Verna Grisby Presley, born 1916, died 1995. Charles presently lives in Murray County, Tennessee. Picture number 75, Bobby Jean Williams Haddocks, born 1938, died 2003. This photograph shows Bobby Jean as a young high school majorette in the 1960s, and she's posing in the front yard of the Franklin Training School that was once located on Natchez Street, but is presently the what was known as the Claiborne Hughes Nursing Home. And in the background, we can see part of the Boma Gentry Restaurant, which was also known as Patton's Restaurant and the Big Wheel Club, and also known as the Soul House. Barbara Jean was the daughter of Robert Williams Sr., born in 1915 and died in 1987, and Nancy McLean Williams. Picture number 76, 3 Williamson County, Tennessee soldiers attending basic training in 1951 at Shepherd Air Force Base, Texas. Left to right, John Ed Beals of Brentwood, Ed Hamilton of Franklin, and Calvin Brown of Nolensville. Number 77, Ella Mae Thompson, 1880-1966. She resided in the Arizona community of Williamson County in the Holtz Corner area of Marshall County. She was the grandmother of Jimmy P. Thompson of Kirkland. Picture number 78 is Martha Downing Ewan, daughter of Mahalia Jordan Ewan. Number 79, Ella Thompson, born 1919, died 2015. She was the wife of James C. Thompson. Note, Ella was born a Thompson and she married a man with her same last name. Number 80, shown is a 1950s scene at Franklin Training School yard during the field day. The house in the background is the former home of Robert Rucker. It once stood at the corner of Carter Street and Natchez Street and has since been demolished. Hazel Sawyers is pictured with her hands on the hips. Number 81, James Arthur Carruthers is the lone student pictured at Florenceville School. In this photograph, we have an inside view of the classroom that shows you exactly what a one-room schoolhouse looked like back in the 1940s. Number 82 is the Florenceville School Group. Among this group is known that two brothers, Robert and Sam Hendricks, are in this group. Number 83, Florenceville Group School picture. Among this group is Dan Carruthers Sr., and he's on the second row, third from right. Number 84 is the Florenceville School, early 1950s. First row left to right, James Arthur Carruthers, Robert Forrest, Dorothy Dobbins Haynes, Ella Mae Dobbins Taylor, Daniel Carruthers Jr. Second row left to right, Ella Mae Forrest Scruggs, Mary Ann Dobbins, John L. Massey, Dorothy Roberts Paisley, and Mrs. Moody, school teacher. Third row left to right, baby sister Locke, mother of Mary Locke, Mattie Mae Massey. And Mattie Mae was not from the area, but had lived a short while with her aunt, Omi Brown, wife of Ted Browns. And the last person on this row is Eva Roberts. Picture number 85, Perkins School Group, 1947. Back row left to right, Julia Wilson Griffith Bowers. Now, Julia Wilson lived on Natchez Street, and many of you might not remember her as Julia Wilson, but she was the daughter of Reverend Willie Wilson, who was a Primitive Baptist minister on Mount Hope Street at the Primitive Baptist Church. She was married to a Griffin and later married Mr. Bowers, and their home was on the corner of Natchez Street and Folk Street, and their residence is now the Methodist Church Basilia Harris Family Outreach Center. Pictured in this Perkins group on the back row is Mrs. Bowers, and then we have Geraldine Robinson Dobbins, Mattie Bell Leach. Second row left to right, Sarah A. Robinson Matthews, Cora Lee Thomas, Mary Jones, Rena Hodge, Dorothy Pearl Hughes Wilson, Bertha Mae Covington Hobbs Vester, Dilly Hodge, and Frances Louise Eve Hodge. Front row left to right, Ridley Hodge, Ross Sparkman, Jim Leach, Charles Sparkman, Eugene Sparkman, and Charles Hodge. Number 86 is the Nolensville School Group. Those of you who are viewing this, if you know someone who had attended school in Nolensville back in the day, come out and help us identify. Number 88 is Ruby Jean Carruthers Kennard, granddaughter of Alec Carruthers, who owned the property on 9th Avenue, but they also owned a farm on what was once the old Liberty Pike, but now it's called Huffines Road. Ruby Jean Carruthers Kennard was born in 1939 and died in 2017. She was a former inheritor and co-owner of the Williamson County property, and she placed it on the National Register several years ago. The 23-acre farm is located on the old Liberty Pike, but that portion of the road was renamed Huffines Road. Her property made news for its sale of $12 million recently. Ruby was the daughter of Ezell Carruthers and Viola House Carruthers. She was the granddaughter of John Henry Carruthers and Carrie Giles Carruthers. She was a graduate of Franklin Training School and Tennessee State University. Her husband, Richmond Kennard, survives. Number 89 is the photograph of John Henry Carruthers, born 1888 and died in 1980. Pictured with him is his half-sister Maggie Childress Hyde and her son, Reverend John Thomas Lee. Photograph number 90 shows John Ed Carruthers, the brother of Ruby Jean Carruthers Kennard, and he is pictured mowing the yard of the family home. He was the husband of Gladys Sawyers Carruthers. Number 91 is Barbara Sue Hodge Lane of Franklin, Tennessee. She is an evangelist and also active with the Williamson County Jail Ministry. She preached her first sermon in 1998 at the West Harper Church on Columbia Pike. Barbara Sue Hodge Lane is a 1967 graduate of Franklin High School and attended the Williamson Bible College that was once located on Seaboard Lane. Barbara Sue Lane is the daughter of Robert Hodge and Mary Frances Starnes Hodge, born 1927, died 2016. Barbara is also the wife of Donnell Lane. Picture 92 is James Bubba Gentry, born 1934 and died 1993, and his wife Josephine Blakely Gentry, born 1937, died 2005. They were local business people who once owned properties on Natchez Street in the Hard Bargain community and Peytonville Road. So they owned property in those three locations, Natchez Street, Hard Bargain, and Peytonville Road. Jesse was the son of James Gentry and Jesse B. Woods Gentry. Josephine was the daughter of Miles Blakely and Emma Walker Blakely Patton. The Gentry couple is to be remembered for their community services and neighborhood grocery markets. Their legacy is continued through the Gentry Foundation, a free summer camp and tutorial program for students. The foundation is directed by their daughter, Evelyn Gentry Hickerson. Number 93 is Maddie Marie Johnson McLemore, and pictured with her is Herman Lawrence. They are two friends who are posing in this photograph. Picture number 94 is Charlie Refugee. He is shown at his retirement party. He worked at the Jameson plant on Franklin Road for a number of years. When he retired, he received a gift of $100 from co-workers and salesmen, also a Citco watch, a tie pin, and a $50,000 check from the Jameson Company. Charlie Refugee is the son of J.D. Refugee and Porter Anderson Refugee. Charlie is the widower of Mary Alice Webb Refugee, and he is the grandson of Buck Refugee. Picture number 95 is Clifton Brown, whose nickname was Geechee. He was a native of South Carolina. Shown also is Ella Mae Dobbins Taylor and Jack T. Scruggs. They are three friends enjoying pleasant times at a local Franklin restaurant in the 1970s. And this restaurant was what was once known as the Macombo and later the Tiki restaurant, but Rose Locke had rented this restaurant at the time that this photograph was taken. Some viewers may not know that Rose Locke had 3 locations in the Natchez Street area for her restaurants. Number 96 is the American Legion Club workers, and they're posing on the steps of Pete Scruggs grocery store in the Hard Bargain community. Now we have photograph A and photograph B, and these men have gathered and purchased groceries to be distributed as a benevolence within the community. Photograph A, left to right, is Robert German, Mud Patton, James Crowder, John Sanford, and John Wesley Brown. Photograph B is Robert German, James Crowder, John Sanford, John Wesley Brown, and Mud Patton. Number 97 is Charlene Moore. She was born in 1951 and died in 2016. Her father was Reverend J.D. Moore, who was very instrumental in keeping the Limestone Baptist Church going during hard times. And he was also a owner of rental property in Franklin that allowed many people to have a place to live during segregated times when they probably couldn't have found housing elsewhere in Franklin. But Charlene was a Franklin native and ordained evangelist and founder of Outreach Ministries of Jesus Christ located in Houston, Texas. She was the daughter of Reverend Joe D. Moore and Mary Smith Moore. Charlene graduated from Franklin High School in 1969. She received a Bachelor of Arts degree in education and a master's degree in education from Prairie View A&M University. She taught school at North Forest Independent School District in Houston, Texas. Number 98 A and B is the Cowan sisters. They were former natives of the Hillsborough community. Left to right is Tenny Lou Cowan, born 1944, died 2005, and her sister Lorene Juanita Cowan Priam, born 1940, died 1989. They are the daughters of John Murray Cowan and Opal Walker Cowan. They're the granddaughters of John Robert Cowan, born 1877, died 1960, and Alice Cummins Cowan, born 1878, died 1952. Number 99, the Church of God, Green Street, Ladies Auxiliary. Left to right, Elsie Mayberry Patton, Annie G. Holt Roberts, Louise Gordon Moore, Amanda Gentry, Unknown, Tommy Mae McLemore, Maggie Patton, and Annie Porter Patton. Number 100, Matthews Dobbins and wife Geraldine Robinson Dobbins. Matthews was a well-recognized Williamson County farmer for many years. He was the son of King David Dobbins and Sue Ella Watkins Dobbins, and Geraldine is the daughter of Jim Robinson and Anna Mae Kennard Robinson. Number 101 is Tyrell Dotson. Tyrell announced on Wednesday, January the 2nd, that he is entering the 2019 NFL Draft. He is the son of Angela Michelle Sparkman Dotson and Antonio Dwayne Dotson. Tyrell is the grandson of Barbara Morton Sparkman and John Wesley Sparkman, and the great-grandson of James Pokey Morton, a former grocery store owner, born 1897 and died 1960, and Eva Pointer Morton, born 1899 and died in 1949. Number 102, two trailblazers, Janice Keck, former director of the Williamson County Public Library, and yours truly, Thelma Battle, historian. The two of us were able to establish a study of African American history in Williamson County, Tennessee. It's a work in progress and ongoing. I would like to invite anyone who has a passion and interested in continuing this avenue to please volunteer at the Williamson County Library. I cannot say enough words for Carolyn Worthy, who has taken on this project and is doing an outstanding job of seeing that this work is continued. Number 103 is Susie Monier Bostick and husband Nathan Bostick. Susie Monier Bostick was born in 1850 and died in 1927, and Nathan Bostick was born in 1858 and died in 1927. They lived in the 18th district of Williamson County, and Susie was the daughter of Nathan Jordan and Amanda Jordan, and Nathan Bostick was the son of Betty Bostick. A note of sadness is shared here as I say goodbye, and thank you to my friends at the Williamson County Public Library and to you, the viewers, for your support in my photographic program. Thank you.
In this cold, rainy weather, thank you everyone for coming out. This is a day to celebrate Thelma, and we've known her for some time now and enjoyed her exhibits, and we just want to mark this occasion in a special way because she has poured her heart into the work she's done, and Thelma has done such valuable work for the community, for Williamson County, and for the library.
I've helped you with a few of these exhibits, and I know that they are a ton of work and a big chore and not easy to get done, but that work is temporary, and what you've left behind is going to be permanent.
That's right.
Bless you for that.
And Thelma, here's a small token. We can't pay you what you're worth, but we just wanted to note this occasion in this way, and this is for you from the library. You can open it, sure. Let me get some scissors and I'll cut that ribbon. I hid scissors over here.
You knew you were going to need them.
I think I do. Do you mind if I cut this for you?
of the sons. And the African American Heritage Society has a book club, and they're reading through this book. And I tried to check it out, but there's already people ahead of me waiting to get it. And so, thank
We
you
didn't think
for
you should be
remembering.
last in line.
You have your own copy.
And we were delighted to know that that was something you really wanted. And there is an inscription.
Presented to Thelma Battle in appreciation of her untiring efforts to preserve and protect African American history in Williamson County, Tennessee, given by the staff of the Williamson County Public Library. Well, there's a will, there's a way, and God is my refuge, and He has protected me this far and sent me so many loving friends and family to support me along the way, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got families here. I've got my sister. My sister's here today, and my nephew, my sister Emily, my nephew Reggie, who is my sister, deceased sister Ada's son, and his friend Denise. I thank you all. I thank Carolyn. Enough has not been said about the tremendous effort Carolyn has put forth and completed a lot of the work that I was unable to finish here at the library. And it is my prayer that God will give her strength to continue on in all of her endeavors. Thank you, Carolyn.
Very
I'll
good.
give it
To Dolores, who's the director, and then Jason and Marcia, and you'll have to excuse me, my memory is kind of going. Jeffy, you know I know who you are. I thank you. Thank all of you.